So CJ and Jill, thank you so much for being with us today at Fashion Forward.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So how did you guys meet?
Well, it's actually a funny story. My partner at the time was spending a lot of time at Soho House, and every day he would come home and tell me that there was this fabulous woman that he would see there every day, and he knew that she worked in fashion and that I did, and he just felt that I would find her quite fascinating. So my interest was piqued, and so I went to go meet her, this kind of elusive woman who I heard was always dripping in Margiela and had this amazing sense of style. And I went and met her just to do kind of an informational interview. I found out that she was a very talented strategist, and so I really just scheduled an appointment with her just to pick her brain. And after that meeting, I think halfway through, we discovered that we were to become fast friends and also business partners. So, and ever since then, it's just kind of, whizzed past. Yeah.
That's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me a little bit more about Byronesque.
Well, it was kind of born out of a frustration of what's happening in the fashion world and the sort of banality of fast fashion and how real creativity is sort of driven by profits only first mentality that we see in the boardroom more and more these days. And it was really the opportunity to create something online that spoke to people like us in a more intelligent, meaningful way about real craftsmanship and quality and the sort of the things and the culture that people did better the first time round, but presented in a way that was really actually very provocative and edgy and not presented like a history book. And we just felt that I particularly felt that was really missing, and had always loved vintage fashion and fascinated by certain parts of vintage culture, and there was really nothing that spoke to us, and realised that was a real opportunity.
Yeah.
So I want to talk to you guys about storytelling. I think that, especially with Byronesque, there's a great use of storytelling. Now, how do you think that brands that haven't incorporated editorial content, haven't been active on social media, how do you think that they can incorporate storytelling to become better brands?
I think first off you have to recognise that there's a real misnomer around what storytelling actually is when it comes to brands, and obviously it's cost of entry now that publish or die, and the confusion between brands, particularly fashion brands, is that they see storytelling as just news. We see storytelling, and I think successful brands approach storytelling with a real point of view that forces people to have an opinion, because when people have an opinion about something, they care. And at the end of the day, all we're trying to encourage is for people to care about things and to share our loves, passions and frustrations. And so you can't really create that if you're just regaling a story. You can take heritage brands, for example. They all have wonderful stories. You're just telling them the story. Chanel, for example, has got loads of great tales about how she created the jacket and all those sort of wonderful things. But then that's almost like a dead end for me. And I can't form an opinion about that, except I like it, I don't like it. And that's a Facebook click. It doesn't necessarily engage anymore. So I think that's a real critical misunderstanding about what storytelling is for brands, very much so for fashion brands, and what we're trying to do is fill that void, because we have a very, very strong point of view, and people are either going to love it or hate it.
Yeah,
it's definitely about inspiring people to form an opinion, not just looking at it as a history book, but really the more that we can get people to be passionate about what we're communicating, I think the more successful storytelling is.